Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with the main man, Martin, for your match preview to Aston Villa against Bournemouth tomorrow night. Make sure that you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. We are motoring on. I think we're like 15 away from 3,700. We want to hit that 4K before the end of the season. So make sure you like and subscribe and get your comments in. Thank you, massive thank you to Nick as well, who gave us that wonderful intro. He keeps updating them for me, and if you didn't see Emmy's dancing in there, and the celebrations from Thursday night, and someone who was celebrating on Thursday night is the main man next to me on the screen, Martin. How are you doing, mate? You made it back.
Yeah, I'm slowly starting to recover. My energy is absolutely drained. See, the way I traveled down was I flew into Luton. I was picked up by good friends Luke and Giulio Primiano, English Italian people, as you will, and we drove down to France. And I was shocked that it was only 20 minutes in the tunnel to France from England. So I was very shocked for that. And then it was an hour from the port of France to Lille. And so all in all, I think I nearly traveled 10 hours on Wednesday. I traveled back then 10 hours on Friday with 20 hours of traveling. But those 20 hours of traveling was worth it because Thursday was just an unbelievable day. The atmosphere was incredible in the square in Lille. Emmy Martinez there dancing, and in the intro, I was actually laughing my head off. It was the first thing I seen when Emmy doing a bit of dancing on the intro, which was great to see. And just an incredible day, mixing with Villa fans, getting loads of different opinions, loads of different score predictions, and we managed to get ourselves in a ticket in the home end in the premium section. I have to say to the Lille fans, they're really pleasant around all of us, and there was two Lille fans sitting in front of us, and every time Villa done something well, they look back and go, bravo. They just clapped and we would clap with them, so they were pleasant people, and there was no issues or anything like that. You were allowed to celebrate. They didn't kick anybody out or anything like that. So I had a great day. And I'm saying it again, I never ever want to be in a penalty shootout like
No,
that ever
mate, I
again.
know. I know. Well, look, Olympiacos next round. If it was the choice between Fenerbahce or Olympiacos, I think I'd have chosen Olympiacos. So
Mm.
yeah, but like you say, we do not want to be going through it down to penalties again. But it's not going to be easy. But like I say, it would have been out of those two teams, it would have been the one that I would have chosen.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because when we went back to a pub and I put the game, the Fenerbahce Olympiacos game on the phone, and then all of a sudden, loads of fans just start coming in. It's gone to penalties. It's gone to penalties. And I was like, yeah, I'd rather Olympiacos. And everyone was saying, yeah, I want that. But then some fans were kind of skeptic about it because they were like, oh, but Athens twice, that just sounds a bit too good to be true, all this sort of thing. So superstitions were kicking in. But look, Olympiacos is the team in the end. And I say, do you want to bet against us?
Exactly. So that's the big question before we get into the match preview. Has that Europa Conference League trophy got Aston Villa's name on it?
I see. I would love to win it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to win it, and I think we're favourites definitely now. I think to get the two biggest teams in the run in for it, getting Ajax and Lille, no easy teams by all means, but
I know.
then there's still the threat of Fiorentina, and I just think that this seems like a bit of a redemption story for them, getting all the way to the final and losing to West Ham.
Hmm.
Could they get the two finals
Are
and then lose
Bruges a
to
bit of
us?
a Bruges a bit of a bogey, like a dark horse in this? Because
They are. They've been
they're
very
the
good, I
ones
have to
who
say.
went away. I can't remember who they beat, but they beat him comfortably 2-0
They
after
went to
winning the
POC,
first leg at
who's
home
also
1-0.
in Greece.
Sorry.
They went to POC, who was also in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So there was more over that because what would have happened was, say, for example, if POC went through, and obviously Olympiacos went through, Villa's first leg would have to be a home, and then which it already is a home, but then the POC one would have to be a home for their first one because the two teams are from Athens, so you couldn't do it. So there would have been mayhem murder between literally everything coming in. So, yeah. So, but look, either way, we got the win. I personally think Villa will win the Conference League. I don't want to be just shouting the rooftop to it just yet. I think we need Kevin on the podcast for that one.
Yeah, positive, Kev. Yeah, Deonta said, watch out for Fiorentina. They may need to win it to qualify for Europe next season.
Mm.
Lewis said it hasn't got the Villa name on the trophy, but at the end of the final, it will have it on by then. So yeah, obviously, a wonderful night. But we go to Premier League action on Sunday after playing 120 minutes, a
Yeah.
little depleted as well in terms of our squad size. So before we get into kind of the Bournemouth team and that game, how do you think the players will be, like, potentially recovered, or how do you think they will be physically after that game on Thursday night?
I don't think physically tired. I think there'll be more mental drainage as well because you're after playing 120 minutes in a 50,000 seater stadium where the atmosphere was absolutely hopping. And I mean, whenever the Villa fans were singing, the little fans were getting their drums out, doing the banging. So they were absolutely incredible. So I think there's going to be a mental drainage, not just physically, because I think physically they might be okay. It's just going to be the mental drainage because this is now the business end of the season. This is now where experience needs to kick in. Now it's a time that we need to be cute and everything else. So there's going to be a lot of mental drainage. And I know, and this is nothing against Unai Emery for his long meetings, because of course he likes to have long meetings and everything else. And I think that'll also play a part in this run in. But like, I think, cheers, Adamski. I think that it's going to be mentally draining now for the next couple of weeks for Aston Villa because we're now in the semi final of the Conference League and we're trying, to get a good grip on fourth place because Tottenham doesn't play till next week. And obviously, we'll have a game before that as well. So we want to be getting ourselves, hopefully, 9 points clear at the time before Tottenham even play. So it's going to be a lot of mental drainage, I think, more or less, more than physical.
Well, that's what I was going to come to. The opportunity to go 9 points clear of Tottenham. Um, is that how Villa should be seeing it, as like a real opportunity? Yes, the pressure. The pressure at this time of the season is for any team fighting at the top of towards the top of the table, or kind of fighting to stave off relegation. That's where the pressure really hits. But will the players see it now as a huge opportunity to go that 9 points clear? Because that does put real pressure on Tottenham, albeit
Mm.
with those games in hand. You've got to win those games.
Yeah, I think there's a massive opportunity. And I do think the players will see that, and they'll want that. Like they'll think that, um, you know, like the boys will probably be sat down, not just by Una Emery. I reckon they'll be sit down by themselves and say, "Look, lads, we win these two games, we're 9 points clear of Tottenham." And everyone knows, and I think they'll all be saying it as well, that if we win these two games, Tottenham will have to play Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool in their next three games. And if you ask me, are Tottenham going to get anything out of that? I personally don't think they will, because you've seen what happened there against Newcastle when they tend to play against the bigger teams. The record this year against the big six have actually been fairly decent, but I just think when it comes to the business end of the season, your likes your Man Cities don't lose. You know, Liverpool tend to have a good end to the season as well, and Arsenal tend to have a good end to the season too, apart last season. But they tend to have strong finishes, the them three clubs. And Chelsea's a bit of a bogey one at this minute because they seem to
We've
be
got
giving
them
it to
next week, so
yeah,
obviously we'll be profiling that one.
yeah. They seem to be putting it up to the big teams, and then against the small ones, they don't do so well. It's like, remember, like Villa, we was tend to putting it up to bigger games, but then for some reason against teams that we should be beating, we're not beaten. So it sort of seems similar to that. And I think Chelsea would love, but nothing more than to diminish Tottenham's top four hopes. I think Chelsea have done it in the past. They've done it to when Spurs were in the race for the league and everything else. So like I think Tottenham won't get anything in these next three games. If they do, by all means, fair play to them, and obviously they'll work hard for it. But I just can't see it, and I just really would love it now if Villa not more or less focus on the next two games, but focus on tomorrow, because then we get 6 points clear and it puts us in a really strong position before,
Yeah,
and then we can look at Chelsea after.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Jason says win at any cost. Win at any cost is all that
Yeah.
matters. Absolutely, absolutely agree. And Gary saying, like, it will be potentially tiredness that stops us. Although I do see the opportunity there, like we just spoke about. But also points out we can't play any worse than we did on Thursday against Bournemouth than we did on Thursday.
Hmm.
Because that's one thing, isn't it? Every game's different. So you talked about pressure in relation to kind of the business end of the season, but the pressure that the players were facing on Thursday did seem to come out like they were trying to act calm. I don't know what you felt like in the stadium, but watching
Hmm.
it on TV, they were trying to act calm, trying to play it across the back, trying to bait, Lille out to try and play through. But then when they did, they just couldn't string two passes together. So you got to think that back in the home stadium, back in the Premier League, you've got to think like that even if they are slightly fatigued, that at least they'll keep the ball better than they did on Thursday night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, on Thursday, my God, they couldn't get 3 or 4 passes together. And that's being honest, they just couldn't. Like, I have to give credit to Lille. Lille, in my opinion, deserve to win, but football is football, and you just never know what happens. And we were just so passive, too lazy as well. I felt, but like, when Bailey came on, and the first thing he did was like shouting, "Hey, we have time, we have time." The mentality shifted then, and then all of a sudden we went 2-0 down, and we were all over Lille, all over Lille. Like, don't get me wrong, Lille still had their phases of play as well, but it just felt like when our backs were against the wall, we then went to pounce, which it doesn't always work out your way when stuff like that happens, but um, it thankfully it did work out. And then funny enough, like in the game, we didn't know Matty Cash's goal was given. We were like, did he give it? Because we didn't know. No one knew. And then all of a sudden the players on the sands and he gave it. But then when I went back to my hotel and I watched the highlight, it was Duran that got in the way. But the only thing was the fact that when the keeper fell down, he fell on his own players. That's probably
Yeah,
why
yeah, it wasn't a foul,
he
nowhere
didn't
near
give.
a foul.
No, I know,
Yeah,
but but because Duran was there, I think he was up in the air.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fell down. It was on Lille, so then nothing was given. Great finish, by the way, by Cash, and he's a bit of an unsung hero in all this at the moment because without that goal, we don't get Emmy Martinez doing the shithousery in the penalty
100%,
shootout.
100% because, Cash, he didn't have a great game, but he had our main chances. He had three shots in the game, and one of them he scored.
Hmm.
And he kept going. And, like you say, it's one of those where he managed to play 120 minutes after not really featuring for the last 2, 3 weeks, even. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's one of them. Like I think he struck it well. It took a deflection, but yeah, you've got to make sure that you put it in. Um, but but on but in that, in terms of like you said, I just can't see us playing as bad like Gary said there tomorrow's game. But
Yeah.
like how if you Emery, we'll talk starting lineups in a second. But how would you approach this game in terms of like we've talked about the kind of win at all costs? We've talked about it's just business end, but how would you approach it? Would you kind of try and go out fast from the start, or
Mhm.
would you kind of be a little bit more controlled? What would be your tactics if you were Unai?
Me personally, I think I'll go for control. Because I think if we go for a fast start, a team like Bournemouth are capable to punish you now. It's not like the Bournemouth of old, where if you got a fast start against Bournemouth, you could be quite lucky in the sense of getting caught. But I think against Bournemouth, if you try a fast start, they will punish you because they've got the players capable to do it. I mean, Solanke's in fire and form. Sinistera is doing really well for Bournemouth at this minute. You've got Christie, um, you know, their
What's
centre back,
Semedo?
Sensei.
Semedo, isn't it, the winger?
Yeah, Semedo's the winger. Sorry, my apologies. And then you have
I don't know if
Sensei, who's
Billing's
in
been
centre
playing.
back,
Yeah,
who
Senesa,
can
yeah, good player.
he can spring a pass right to Slanky. So
Yeah.
if I like that, I'd be looking for control, try to wear them down, physically and mentally, because when you're mentally tired, decision makings can like differ a little bit. So I think if we control the ball, we move the ball right, left, back, foot, everything like that, we wear them down, and then our chances will come. So I think a fast start is not ideal, but look, Emery will have his ways, and I'm sure he will do everything possible to get 3 points for Aston Villa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to be a tough game, and you mentioned some of the Bournemouth players. I'm just looking at their kind of probable lineup. They've got likes of Cook and Christie in midfield. They've still got like some like Adam Smith at right back. They've still kind of kept some of their like you know I
Mm.
guess the players that have got them through, but then they've got Semenyo who's in great form this season. They've got Justin Kluivert who started to play really well, and obviously Dominic Solanke up front, who it's kind of billed as this. I don't know what it is. Is it an England squad audition for the between the two of the players? You know, Watkins and Solanke. That's what they're trying to
Uh,
say, or the
but I
Golden
think,
Boot
yeah,
race. But
but
Bournemouth have got some good players.
that's a credit down to the manager Iriola, because he's obviously kept a lot of what Bournemouth have. Same with Emery with Villa. He kept a lot of what Villa have and improved them. Like
Hmm.
a lot of managers were calling, or sorry, not a lot of managers, a lot of pundits were saying Bournemouth were going to go down after sacking Gary O'Neill. And I felt a Spanish manager coming in for Bournemouth, I kind of thought, right, I'll see how this goes. I never said once in a million years that Bournemouth would get relegated. But they started poorly because they were trying to play football, get used to the system. Some teams react to it very quickly, some take that little bit of time. And they play good football, Bournemouth. They really do. They're actually a really entertaining team to watch now. It's not the team of old where they were long balling it into the box, and Solanke wasn't getting service, where now he is. And look what he's doing with it. Like, they've got some good players, and I'm sure the only sign I think they made was that left back Kerkez.
Yeah, he's done
He's
okay.
been very good for Bournemouth at this moment in time. So, like, the manager's clearly worked with what he's got, and I think if he's backed in the summer to get himself 2 or 3 more players, you could see Bournemouth climb up a table. All right, now will they climb up fairly high? Maybe not, but it gives a time of ambition for the club.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they've got a few injuries, so Marcus Tavernier is out. He's quite a good player for them. Luis
Yeah,
Sinisterra, who you mentioned before, he's out. Ryan Fredericks is out as well. So a fair bit of pace that's missing from that side. But like I said, they've still got Semenya, they've still got Clivert, they've still got Solanke. And one thing they do is they do press quite quickly. You know, we saw
yeah,
that against them at their place, and they gave us a real scare. And obviously, it was Ollie Watkins that scored right at the death to get that draw for us, to get that
mm,
2-2 draw. And that's, they're a decent side. Now they've obviously drew against United last week. They've beaten Newcastle, but that point that Ollie Watkins got in that kind of last minutes and in the away leg and in the away game, and obviously and I think Martinez made some cracking saves in that game as well.
yeah, he did.
That's
Yeah,
a
a
huge
standard weekly
that'll be
save
a
by
yeah
Martinez.
that'll be a huge point coming, potentially by the end of the season, and that's
Yeah,
kind of that character that Villa have shown all season.
absolutely. Like, the mentality from Villa has been exceptional this season. Like, because we've been hampered a good bit by
Some
injuries.
people, sorry, some people in the chat say Semenya might not be playing, but it
Oh,
hasn't
so I
got
haven't heard
him
about it.
down here as being injured.
Oh, okay.
It's got him in the probable line. It says Sinisterra and Tavernier are out though, but
Mm,
if Semenya's out, that's massive for us.
that's a big one because he is very good. But sorry, yeah, getting back to what I was
Yeah,
saying just
the
there.
point. Yeah,
Um, geez, now I forgot.
it was just saying how massive, they're a good side and how big that point was.
Yes,
That we
sorry,
got.
with the mentality. Yes, yes, thank
Yes,
you. That we've been hampered by injuries a bit. We've had Buendia who done his ACL before the season started. Tyrone Mings who done his ACL in the Newcastle games. Then we had Konza out for a month with his back. We've had John McGinn out for a while. We had Cash out for a while. Now Kamara's out for the rest
Ramsey,
of the season. Uh,
Ramsey.
Ramsey, who's been a complete wrote off this year with his injury with the metatarsal in his leg at the moment. Like, it's just been like, if you ask me, this time last season we had them injuries, we probably wouldn't be where we were. But, like, I think the mentality really has shifted that, right, lads, we have quality everywhere in the pitch. It's not just what is injured, it's everywhere. And it shows in the team. It really does. Like, Cons is able to go to right back and do a shift. You know, Tielemans has not only been forward, but now he's been playing holding mid there against Arsenal, and he put in an unbelievable shift. So it goes to show that not only do we have quality all over the pitch, we've got quality of players that can play in different positions, and it would work. So
Hmm.
we have been absolutely exceptional this season. The mentality is, I think, is actually under the radar a lot. Like, we've been mentally strong this season, regardless of injuries. We didn't, you know, whinge about it. We didn't make excuses about it. We got on, and now we're sitting in fourth and a European semi-final.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Bolg the villain, thanks for joining us. Says Semenya was declared for yesterday, but has been out, so may not start. So we'll
Mm.
have to wait and see. Um, Guys, do please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We've got over 70 watching, which is great on a Saturday night. So thank you very much for your support. Do hit that like button. We got something like 350 likes on the last video reacting to the Conference
Seeing
League
that was
semi-final
mental.
win.
That was
It's
mental.
crazy, crazy. So thank you all for your support. We're motoring on to 3,700 subscribers. So like and subscribe. If you want to become a member, click the link pinned at the top of the chat as well. Just $1.99 a month as well. And we got 2 new members the other night. We got Lena Pedersen and I think it was Dave who joined as a member. So thank you very much. So
Mm.
let's have a look at Villa's your predicted lineup. Guys, get your lineups in the chat as well, who you think might start. So looking at yours, Martin, you've got Emmy in goal, Concert, Carlos coming back in. So Concert right back, Carlos coming back in to centre back, Pau Torres and Luca Dean, McGinn and Tielemans, then Bailey, Rogers, Diaby. So Bailey, Rogers, and Diaby starting, and Ollie Watkins up front. I will say, I agree, but I was thinking of my starting lineup. I was thinking, will he go with Pau Torres again, especially after kind of that his delicacy in terms of fitness. You
Mm.
know, like he's played last Sunday, he's played Thursday. Will he go with him again, or will he put Longley in? And then I thought, well, Carlos and Longley hasn't been amazing at centre back. So and then I was thinking, does he play Matty Cash at right back and maybe go Cash, Conser, Longley? But then obviously Carlos didn't play the other day, so I'm a little bit conflicted at the centre back. But I think Carlos again should start because of he's good at doing a job against the centred forward. You know, like a Solanke, he's done it before. He's done well against Haaland and players like that. So yeah, that I agree with McGinn and Tielemans. I think. And then again, I was toying with the idea: does Big Tim come in for a game?
Yeah,
I was
I
toying
think.
with that idea
Yeah.
because
No, I
Tielemans
think.
again, can
Yeah,
he
sorry.
do it?
No, I think with Pell, I think because Emmy's had him before in Champions League and Europa Leagues, that he will feel Pell will be fit enough because he's experienced enough to play in European games and Premier League games week in, or sorry, not Premier League, but La Liga games week in, week out. So like he's gonna feel he's gonna be confident and fit enough to do that because he's done it before in numerous of years. With Tielemans and McGinn, I know where you're coming from in terms of Big Tim, and I would love for Big Tim to play, but I think when you're in the business end of the season, a player like Tim has only really come on in the last while, and I think he will go with his more experienced heads in the business end of the season. And it's nothing against him. I think he's a fantastic player, and I do believe he deserves a start. But at this current time, when you're in the business end of the season, your more experienced players do need to kick in. And I think Rogers is improving week in and week out. I really do, and I think he deserves a start. And hopefully, he can grab himself another goal on the weekend. And I do think we need to see a bit more of Bailey and Diaby together because I think Diaby plays so much better when he has Bailey on the pitch with him. I might not be. Hopefully, I'm not the only one of that opinion, but I think him and Bailey really connect with each other really well. They know what they want. They know where they're moving to. So I think if we see more of them together tomorrow, that'd be a bonus. And I don't think the Bournemouth defense would live with that.
Yeah, I agree to an extent. I think Bailey and Diaby, I was toying with that idea as well. I think maybe Zaniolo might start as well. I know he went off the other day after half an hour. Could maybe be right to play. He hasn't said there's any more injuries other than the
Yeah, he
players
didn't
who
put any news
were
on
out
him,
the other
did so he
day.
didn't know. No.
Paul saying Martinez, Carlos and Torres, then Dino and Konsa, McGinn, Rogers, Tielemans, Bailey, Duran, and Watkins. So does he put
He's
Duran
going
up
with
front?
more
That's not a
physical
bad shout.
presence.
He played well
Yeah.
when he came on. Bailey might be carrying a little knock, but I
Yeah.
do think I, whether he. I just think sometimes with Bailey and Diaby, I think it's almost like when teams are a little bit more tired, it's like a weapon that you've got. You can either bring both of them on to change and really impact a game, or you can take one off to bring the other one on after that defender is maybe a little bit more tired. So I don't know whether he starts them, and then I think Bournemouth are quite physical. So if he's got the option of playing Zaniolo and Rodgers, I think in terms of physicality, that's not a bad midfield to kind of have. But yeah, he hasn't got a huge amount of options. Um, he definitely hasn't got a huge amount of options, and I guess he's just trying to get every last ounce out of the players. Now, one of the good things, Louise is suspended. Adamski's is still in his second game of his suspension, so
Yeah,
otherwise he would have been in there. Um, one of the benefits is we haven't got a midweek game. So if you can get everything out of them tomorrow, get the win, they're not playing till next Saturday night,
yeah. Have
are
a
they?
rest.
So
Have a rest. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I do think. I mean, with that team that you've put up, you've still got Cash on the bench. You've still got potentially Zaniolo on the bench. You've still got Duran on the bench, and obviously Eric Bonham, and then other youngsters. So there's still a few options. I just yeah, that's a good team. I just think I think there'll be
I
one or
think
two
for
other
what's
changes.
available, I think it's the best
Yeah,
11 going. I
it
think
is.
for
It is.
what's
I just think there
available.
might be one or two other changes. I really do. I think maybe.
Mm.
I think maybe if
Because we haven't had
Zaniolo
Carlos and
can get
Linglet in the
himself
Premier
fit,
League.
I
We
think
had it in the
Zaniolo
Conference League
plays.
for a
Yeah.
while, which I think is work. But to ask me to do it in the Premier League against Dominic Solanke, yeah, Pau and
Who's that
Carlos.
Longley?
Hmm?
Who's that Longley?
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
Longley and Carlos have worked really well in the Conference League. They haven't really been together in the Premier League as much.
Yeah. No.
So
No.
like, if you got a player like Dominic Solanke who's in red hot form all season, you have to get Carlos and Pau. One for the Carlos to get the physical presence, and Torres can do all his nice little work. Then so Carlos doing the dirty work where Linglet. I've enjoyed him this season. I think he's been really good. I think he's been a very good number two to Torres. But in terms of the execution of what Torres does, not quite there. So you would need Pau Torres for this to play in between the lines for Ollie Watkins to get it into Diaby, to get it into Bailey, McGinn, and Tielemans. So you have to have your two best centre backs against a player like Dominic Solanke for the tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Rachel saying she thinks Zaniolo's injured. Bulk saying what's the injury status. I'm just. And there wasn't much from the press conference, but it didn't. He didn't. I don't think he said.
He didn't rule him out.
I
So
don't think he said that he was in. He said the same situation, obviously with the longer term injuries. He never said anything about Zaniola being injured.
yeah,
And
so
I sometimes have the impression that Zaniolo, if he feels a little twinge or something, he ain't playing. Like he's like, nah, I've had it.
hmm,
So yeah, I think that. Bolg the villain's also saying, let's attack the whole 10 first half. Um, that might not be a bad shout, to get us off to a good start.
yeah, yeah. Like a lot of fans don't like that, but that's like an Emery thing, isn't it?
Mm.
Like some games attack the whole then first half just to for the mindset.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Quick look at the stats against Bournemouth, the head-to-heads in the Premier League. We haven't really faced each other very often in the Premier League at all, but
Hmm.
7 times we've played. I mean, I haven't got a great record, if I'm honest.
Oh,
2 wins for Villa out of those 7 games, 4 for Bournemouth, and 1 draw, which was this season. A 2-2 draw, as we said before. Really good game. Leon Bailey scoring and Watkins scoring, which is quite a regular occurrence this season.
yeah,
Then we won 3-0 last season under Unai Emery, lost 2-0 to the first game of last season. Remember that controversy over Tyrone
yeah.
Mings being dropped, stripped to the captaincy, and Watkins wasn't starting, and various other
I
players not
nearly forget
starting.
that was in the same season. You know that.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
I know. And then the season that we went up, first season we went up, obviously Bournemouth did the double over us, but we still managed to stay up somehow, and they went down. Form guide at the moment, so Bournemouth not doing too badly in terms of the form guide. They've got 10 points from their last 5 games, although they haven't won in their last 2. Villa with 8 points from the 4 games, so not too bad in the terms of form. Obviously,
Yeah.
got a great win at Arsenal last week, and after the Brentford draw. And we're currently, as we know, sitting in 4th position. Bournemouth in 13th. They seem like they should be higher than that, but sitting in 13th
Yeah.
at the moment. Won 11 games, drawn 9, lost 12. Villa with 19 wins. Could get the 20th win of the season tomorrow, which would be phenomenal. 6 draws and lost 8. We're averaging just over 2 goals a game. They're averaging just under 1.5, and they're conceding 1.78 per game. 7 clean sheets for them and 8 for Villa. And they do create some decent chances. They created a lot of chances last week against Man United. And Ryan Christie, as you say, doing well for them this season in midfield. But Ollie Watkins leading the goal scoring charts. Dominic Solanke not far behind. Just a word on Ollie. Do you fancy him to? I don't want your score prediction yet, but you're fancying him to. He's only 1 goal away from 20 now. Are you fancying him to get that tomorrow?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For one reason and one reason alone. And for everyone in the comments that knows him. Sam. Sam. And I
Well, I
hope
think
he's watching
Sam's
because you are
already
going to
getting.
come on here and do
Yeah.
your utmost best apology for this.
I
So,
think he's getting his Ollie Watkins shirt ready. He's getting
yeah,
his tattooist ready or something. He's getting something ready anyway for it.
whatever
So
it is. And I want to see it on this podcast.
yeah,
And if it's
but
not
no,
on this podcast, we're writing.
it'd be great though, wouldn't it, for him to secure the 20th goal at home
Yeah.
with
Mm,
another 4 games to go after it. It'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
absolutely. I mean, he's the first player. He'll be the first player to do it in a top flight division since Peter Witt in 1981. So, like, for what 43 years, no one's done it. Hit 20 goals. So, like, it would be a great achievement for him, and I hope he does. I know what. Call me a bit born for this, but I hope it's not a tap in.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I hope it's like an actual good finish, like, getting a touch and bang into the corners rather than, being on the end of it and just getting a tap in. Don't get me wrong, I don't care how he does it, but I hope it's just a good finish for him, just for the occasion, for the fans of Villa Park.
He's been liking his headers at the minute as well.
Yeah.
Just and Leon Bailey as well. He's on 9 Premier League goals and 8
Mm.
assists. He could get a double this season as well. I
Yeah,
mean, that would
I'd
be
love for him.
incredible,
I'd love
wouldn't
for
it?
him to do double double. I would love for him to do double double.
Yeah, be fantastic, fantastic. I'm already getting score predictions in the chat. I have just put the little graphic up as well for like and subscribe. We got over 80 in the chat, so it's brilliant numbers. So please hit the like button if you haven't already. I want us to see if we can get 60 likes on the stream tonight. That'd be amazing. And subscribe if you're new. We're very very close to 3,700. We want to hit that big. Want to hit that big 4K before the end of the season. It'd be amazing. And if you do want to donate to the channel, or if you want to become a member, please just click the link and and yeah, you can become an official Villa Park Pod follower. Michael saying an Ollie hat trick. That would be incredible, mate. Incredible,
22 goals
incredible.
then. Oof.
Yes. I do want to mention the VP 1897 group as well. They'll be doing their event tomorrow. I'm at the game tomorrow as well. So if anyone come and say hello. I think the Love of Paul McGrath lads are there as well. So if
They are there, yeah.
I'll try and join up with them as well. But yeah, come and say hello. I'm gonna try and get along to the VP 1897 crew as well. I think they're meeting at the Witten Arms before, and then they're going to the outside the Trinity, I think, for 1:30 or something like that. So
Yeah.
make sure that you get there. And then is it Doug Ellis stand P9 block for the atmosphere? But obviously, hopefully, the ground will be absolutely bouncing for tomorrow. It has to be bouncing. 3 o'clock on a Sunday. It's not too early. It's not too late. Let's just make that atmosphere amazing for the players. We're already getting score predictions in, as I say. Paul saying Aston Villa 7, Bournemouth 0. Goals. Stephen saying 2-0 Villa. Adamski, I'm not sure again if these guys are being serious, but it'd be amazing. 7-0. Setu Stain is saying 1-1 tomorrow. Carly is saying 3-1 Villa. Stephen said Ollie to pull out the I told you Sam t-shirt.
I had to highlight that one. I
that
couldn't
would
let that one
that would
pass.
show that he does watch the podcast. He's called out
That
Troy
would,
Deeney
wouldn't it?
last week, and now he's calling out Sam this
Oh,
week.
that would be
That'd be amazing.
incredible. All of a sudden, then the viewership and everything else is going up on this podcast thanks to Ollie Watkins and Sam opening his big mouth in the start of the season. It'd be just brilliant.
Deontay saying 2-1 to Villa. Gary saying 2-1 Villa as well. Michael saying he'll take a 1-0 tomorrow. Absolutely.
Conservative.
Adamski saying hit the like if you hate the Blues. There you go. There you go.
That has to be
You know,
motivation. If that's
yeah,
not
has to be
motivation.
motivation. Aurelio Gomez saying clean sheet 2-0 to the mighty Villa. Alex is saying 4-0 Villa. Get in there, son.
Go on, Alex.
Amazing stuff. And he's also said over in the US, everyone is absolutely buzzing for Villa over there. So that is amazing stuff. The word is getting out about Aston Villa. John saying 3-1, Watkins all three. Paul in that 7-0 saying Watkins 4, Bailey, Durant, and Tielemans. I do fancy Durant for a goal tomorrow. I really do.
Oh,
Carl is there tomorrow. Yeah, good. I hope to see you.
good stuff.
Yeah, point wouldn't be terrible. I agree. D saying 1-1 draw. Bolg saying P9 massive. Don't forget your scarves. And John saying a tight 1-0 win for the Villa. So anyone else get it in the chat. But Martin, what are you saying? What are you saying tomorrow? Score and scorers.
I'm going to go 3-0, repeat of last year, of the game that I was at.
Ooh,
Actually, funny enough, I was at that game last year when they won 3-0 against Bournemouth. I'm going to go with Watkins.
yeah.
Watkins.
Yes.
Watkins. I'm going with a Watkins hat trick.
You are you?
I'm going with a
That
Watkins
would
hat trick.
that would be incredible. That would be
So,
incredible.
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to go to the bookies on Watkins hat trick, don't take my word for it just yet.
Look, mate, it'd be brilliant if we do. Absolutely brilliant.
I'd love it.
I'm
So I'm
gonna
going with that.
say I think it'd be tighter than that. You know what? I was toying with the idea of a draw. I really was. I think Bournemouth are a decent side, but then when I've seen
Come
they've got
on,
some
Rich.
of
What
their
would
in.
Kevin be doing? What would Kevin
No,
be
I
doing?
know, I
Come
know, I
on.
know. What? Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hmm.
When I've seen some of their injuries, I think we'll probably will get over the line. So I think a 2-0 victory, similar to like the Wolves game, where I don't think it'll be anything spectacular, but I
Mm.
think we'll get the win. And I think, as I say, I think Duran will score in the second half, but I think Watkins will get that 20th goal. I think there'll be too much. I think the players will be absolutely gunning for him to get that. No, they'll be trying to put it on a plate for him and what have you, to get him that goal. So yeah, 2-0 Villa, and that'll be a nice clean sheet and take us. It'd be a fantastic week for Villa. That beating Arsenal, getting through to the semi-finals of the Conference League, and beating Bournemouth. I also think after that Brentford game, and what happened in that game, I don't think the players will let that happen. I really don't.
No,
I think the motivation will be there to not let that happen at all. Um, I just don't think they'll want that to happen to them again.
no, you wouldn't. So I think they learned their lesson in that to
Yeah,
hold league down.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Gary said Villa to do a Jason Bournemouth supremacy 2-1. I love it. I love it. Rod says 2-1 Villa, Duran and Watkins.
You know what? Sorry, just going back to that comment. It was Gary. I was going to say that was something I expect from Gary.
No, it was Gary. It was definitely Gary.
Yeah, it was something I was expecting from Gary. Fair play, Jimmy.
we know what he's like. He can't stop with the puns.
No,
92 watching, 45 likes. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's get 60. Let's get 60. Question I wanted to ask. John saying, do we think we will see Buendia back soon? I'll let you answer that
ooh,
first, mate.
no,
No,
I don't.
I think it's too
The
early.
reason being, I think I love Emmy. I really do. I'm actually a really, really big fan of him. But I think after his ACL injury, he's been out for as long as he's been out. I know he's in, training at the minute with the football. It's still only light. I don't think it's been full contact just yet. and with 5 games to go in the Premier League, and of course the run for the Conference League, I think it might be too soon for him, because when you're in that type of the season, you need everyone to be fully fit, not just coming back and niggling and testing the waters of trying to get him back to match fitness. I think that's just not the right time to do it. And I've no disrespect to Emmy, but I think when you're trying to get players back fit, you don't want to be doing it in the business end of the season. You want to do it like if it was in the middle of the season, fair enough, or the start of the season, fair enough. But like that small time frame for me is not the time to do it. So I don't think we'll see Emmy when they're back. I think we might see him back next season. Actually, no, we definitely will see him back next season.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely will next season. I was maybe thinking, the Conference League finals, what, the 29th of May. I just
Yeah.
wonder whether he would target, maybe the Liverpool game or something to get back on the bench, which is what, 3 weeks time. I
Yeah, we
just
might
think,
see him on the bench, but
yeah,
will we see him on the football pitch? I don't think so.
yeah, it'd be nice for him to get back in like get in a squad or something.
Yeah, just in and around the
Um,
field of everything going on. I think that'd be nice for him, but I personally don't think we'll see him back on the football pitch.
yeah, Yeah, Aurelia saying we'll love seeing MEB back. James
Yeah,
said get Buendia back fighting fit next season.
absolutely.
And Rod says, how long is Moreno out? I think it's 2 weeks. I think it's like a
Mm,
hamstring tweak. So I'd hope to be maybe seeing him in training next week. Maybe miss the Chelsea game, but potentially back for first leg of
yeah.
the Conference League semi final or something. Another question. A question
Did you
from
see
Paul.
that?
To I'll get what's this squeaky bum time? No.
No, it's look, I'm back in 3 weeks, calf injury.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. Where was it? Paul said, question: who will take a penalty tomorrow? Will it be Watkins or will it be Tielemans or will it be
Watkins.
Cash?
If it was for Watkins 20th, Watkins is stepping up. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, yeah.
If it was the case of already had
He, sli-
20,
he
I
slipped.
give
He
Paul
slipped on
Tielemans. I would.
Thursday, didn't he? He slipped on Thursday, and he slipped when he took a penalty against Everton last
Yeah,
season.
no, here, that's when my heart was racing the most, because when he slipped, I was going, I do not want to hear 50,000 French people around me cheering that. And then when I seen it go in, I was like, "Thank God." Like, because honestly, that was the worst 10 minutes for me in terms of,
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
and being
Penalties
there
is
as well. It's not
horrible.
just, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
being there and watching on telly is totally different.
yeah,
Like, because
yeah,
you're there with fans, and then you're feeling the emotion of everything around the stadium. At home, right? Yeah, you're feeling the emotion, you're rushing, but being there is just a totally different level. It's just, ooh.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Mm.
Um, I've got it now, Alex Murray. I've got it now. I just had that
I know,
realization.
you've only
I
just
was
got
like,
it.
I didn't get. Yeah, he's back in 3 weeks. I get it. I get it
Was that
now. I
going in
get
your
it
head
now.
for the last while, thinking, why
Yeah,
did he say that?
I was like, why did he say that in 3 weeks?
I
But now I
got
get
this
it.
straight
I get
away.
it. Yeah, he's recently drove to Canada. That's why. Yeah, you want to
Alex, you might
stop
want to
doing that,
explain that
Alex? You
again
want to
just
stop
for
doing
Rich.
that?
Can you explain that
Yeah,
again
yeah.
just for Rich there, please?
Right, I think I think it's getting too late now. So, but yeah, we're
Yeah.
very very confident tomorrow. I think. Well, actually, I'm confident. I'm not very very confident. I think it's going to be a tough game. Bournemouth are a decent side, can give anyone a game. Like I said, I was very surprised that they're 13th in the table. I thought they were higher than that, and
So did I.
I know they
So did
kind
I.
of thought that they might have a chance of gate crashing that European party, but Coefficient FC didn't help them at one bit this week, with Villa being the only team left in Europe from the English
Mm.
clubs. So yeah, they haven't got a chance of that. But sometimes a team when they haven't really got much to play for can be very dangerous, because they just play with freedom, and that's what we don't want tomorrow. We want them, we want to put our best foot forward. We want to make sure we take the game seriously, and get the job done, Martin.
Absolutely, and I think this is the time for no slip ups.
Yeah,
Absolutely no slip up whatsoever. I think we need to put our foot down on the gas now. Like this is the business end of the season. This is the situations we want to be in. That in trying to get Champions League football, and if we get it and win the Conference League, the I can only imagine what Birmingham's going to be doing. To go into pandemonium. I think definitely going to win the pandemonium. I might be missing from work for about a month if
Well,
we do
look,
that.
there's still a few weeks to go yet, and we've got to do the job one game at a time, as Michael says. It's a
Yeah.
marathon, and we've got to take it one game at a time. And it starts tomorrow against Bournemouth. So that'll do us for tonight. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you all for watching. Do make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. As I say, I'll be there tomorrow, so do please, if you see me around, come and say hello. And I'll try and jump on to do a match reaction tomorrow as well. We'll be back with Fans Forum. We'll have preview for the Chelsea game as well next week, and talking tactics with Gareth. So make sure you stick with the channel. Thank you all for watching, and as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.
Hello.